హాయ్ కథలు చెప్పడంలో ఒక వైవిధ్యం కనిపిస్తుంది, పాత్రలు డిజైన్ చేయడంలో ఒక పవర్ కనిపిస్తుంది, విమెన్ క్యారెక్టర్స్కి ఒక పర్పస్ ఉంటుంది. ఐ హ్యావ్ విత్ మీ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద మోస్ట్ సెన్సిబుల్ డైరెక్టర్స్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ టైమ్స్, గౌతమ్ మీనన్. హాయ్ సార్, హౌ ఆర్ యూ? వెల్కమ్ టు హైదరాబాద్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
అండ్ మాకు చాలా ఆనందంగా ఉంది ఒక పాయింట్ మీద, ఏమిటంటే మీరు మా బతుకమ్మ మీద ఒక పాట చేస్తున్నారు. సో దట్స్ అన్ ఆనర్, ఇట్స్ అ ప్రివిలేజ్ అండ్ వీఆర్ ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్లీ హ్యాపీ.
Actually, it's an honor and privilege for me, being from Tamil Nadu, to make a film on Bathukamma. It just fell in place, and I'm very happy and fortunate to be here. I think filming this, it wasn't easy because the festival is just around the corner, and we got the song very, like today, and we've started filming. So it's going to be an interesting experience, hopefully. Yeah.
సో మీకు బతుకమ్మ గురించి తెలుసా? అంటే ఎంతకాలం నుంచి తెలుసు? వెన్ డిడ్ యూ యాక్చువల్లీ ప్లాన్ దిస్?
So I've been doing some research. Actually, my idea is to make a lot of films across the country based on festivals and important locations, try to understand the culture and things like that. So in that scenario, I came across this festival also, and I happened to meet Kavita ma'am in this regard, and then we generally discussed. We had a common friend also. So when we discussed the idea, I suggested if A.R. Rahman sir can do the music, then I will make a very small 4.5 minute film. It's finally there's going to be dance, but somewhere in the film we can show what this is about is what I thought, and she was very open to the idea. So that was and yes, since I got into it, I studied about it and I figured out what needs to be done and all that stuff.
మీకు ఏంటి అంటే బాగా నచ్చిన అంశం ఏంటంటే బతుకమ్మ విషయంలో?
The fact that it's with women, it's about women, it's for women, and the men are regaled to the sidelines. That's what I liked about it the most. Most other festivals, everybody participates together, but here the men are just helping hands. They I think the most they do is pluck these flowers and give, and maybe carry the weight and give it to the women maximum. So I also felt it's about women, coming out, and in a small way it's also about empowerment. It's a very cliche thing to talk about that these days, because I don't believe in that also, because I don't believe women need to be empowered. They are already in power, so to speak. So in that sense, I thought that is the beautiful thing about this, that it's just women and about women.
బట్ గౌతమ్ గారు, బేసికల్గా చూసుకుంటే కూడా బై నేచర్ మీరు you've always been a pro woman guy. అంటే మీ సినిమాలు అవి రిఫ్లెక్ట్ అవుతాయి, మీ సినిమాల్లో క్యారెక్టర్స్ అవి రిఫ్లెక్ట్ అవుతాయి. ఎవ్రీవేర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ స్టోరీ యూ నరేట్ ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ వాంట్ టు టెల్, ఇట్ హాస్ విమెన్ హ్యావ్ బీన్ ప్లేయింగ్ అ వెరీ పివిటల్ రోల్. సో ఈ బతుకమ్మలో ఈ పర్టికులర్ సాంగ్లో మీరు వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ న్యూ ఎలిమెంట్ దట్ యూర్ గోయింగ్ టు యాడ్ in the process?
See, most of the songs that are done capture the mood and the flavor, but I felt there is no story in this. We've tried to bring in a little story. Given the time constraint, it's not going to be easy, but we are trying to bring a story into this. Other than that, I must thank you for saying that. It's only going to get better. My life has been sort of filled with very powerful women who have a strong mind of their own, and my life has been sort of designed by these women at home, I'm saying. I grew up listening to my sisters talk about their life and their work and what they want to do and their ambitions and all. We were all very close-knit, and age difference also wasn't too much. And then my mother is still working, she still teaches, so it's been strongly designed by these women. So there's no other way that I can look at, when I make films, characters have to be strong. It's only going to get better, hopefully.
రైట్. గౌతమ్ గారు, నార్మల్గా మాస్ మీడియం, ఫిల్మ్స్ అనేదే మాస్ మీడియం. దీని ద్వారా ఎంతోమందిని ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేయొచ్చు, ఎంతోమందికి చాలా విషయాలు చెప్పి వాళ్ళ ద్వారా ఎన్నో చేయించవచ్చు. అండ్ వెన్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఫిల్మ్ మేకర్స్ లైక్ యూ, అంటే విమెన్లో అంటే మన ఫెమినిస్ట్ అని అనను, కానీ ఒక ఈక్వాలిటీ అని ఆలోచించే తరుణంలో విమెన్ ఫిల్మ్ మేకర్స్ అట్లుంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ అ బిగ్ డీల్. But if men filmmakers have that feminist kind of an approach where they have more, they give more importance to women roles, what do you have to say about this? Ante what kind of a difference it is going to make in the society?
See, I think it's also because I don't believe in the divide itself.
Yeah, I don't. I also say that, but I'm just telling
but it exists largely. there are filmmakers and producers who hesitate to work with women lyricists. They want to work only with certain women and all that. So this is a thing that I've tried to break at every point. Also, when I bring in a heroine, the beauty of that girl lies in my eyes, maybe not with everybody else's. That definition is mine actually. But when I show somebody, this is what I've done. Oh, araga le sir, innu konjam araga irundirukkalame, or she's not beautiful. So I ask him, what is your definition of beauty? So it's a very strange thing. Somebody who's slightly dark skinned cannot be a heroine is silly, So I've tried to break that with every film of mine. It does make a difference when a man makes a film. Yes. I completely agree. Yes. Because this exists in the society, and that's the problem, and exists in the film world also to a large extent. I know a lot of actors who hesitate to work, who hesitate to do certain things on screen, thinking, oh, why should I do that? She looks stronger than me. It's all very silly in that sense, And otherwise, I know they can't survive without women, So, but I'm hoping there will be more women filmmakers who will come around, I really think aesthetics, sensibilities, lie, in a bigger way with them. And I look forward to watching women, make films. Yeah.
గౌతమ్ గారు, మీరు లవ్ స్టోరీస్ చేసిన, గ్యాంగ్స్టర్ స్టోరీస్ చేసిన, పోలీస్ కాప్ బ్యాక్ డ్రాప్ స్టోరీస్ చేసిన ప్రతి కథలో ఒక ఉమెన్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నారో, ఇట్స్ నీడ్ నాట్ బి ద లీడ్ రోల్, ఆ చుట్టుపక్కల ఉన్న అదర్ విమెన్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ని కూడా మీరు చాలా ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఇస్తారు. అంటే యూ డోంట్ యూజ్ దెమ్ యాజ్ సమ్ ప్రాప్, ఏదో అక్కడ ఉండాలి కదా, వెనక ఏదో నిలబడాలి కదా అని ఉండదు. ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళకి ఒక పర్పస్ ఉంటుంది. ఈ పర్పస్ అన్నది డిడ్ ఇట్ కమ్ ఫ్రమ్ చైల్డ్హుడ్, లైక్ యూ సెడ్ మీ మదరు, సిస్టర్స్ అందరిని చూసారన్నారు, కానీ అదంతా ఒక ఫ్యామిలీకి లిమిటెడ్ వర్షన్. మీరు బయట కూడా మీ ఎక్స్పోజర్ టు ద అవుట్ సైడ్ వరల్డ్, యువర్ కాలేజ్, యువర్ స్కూల్ డేస్, how did all adanతా culminate etla ayindi in your film making?
See, because they were never props in my life. Women are not mere props, like I said, my life was designed by a few women. Every step I take is discussed with, and I step back if somebody feels in my circle, those 2-3 people, if they feel that this is not going to work, then I step back and I take a lot of decisions based on what they tell me to do. So they've never been mere props in my life. So even in college, I became very good friends with somebody who was 1 year senior to me, and everybody was like looking at us very strangely, but there was a beautiful platonic relationship. It was like a friendship, which is not understood at all in these days. If a man and a woman are together, then they must be, they cannot be just friends, So I've broken all those, so-called barriers to a large extent in my life itself. I have a lot of women working in my environment, in my office. Women run the show actually, and I'm very happy to say that they run the show, and I can do my own work, without being in other things also, like from finance to management to production. Over the past 15 years, I know the women have run the show to a large extent, So I believe in that. I work like that, and I look forward to meeting women also.
And do you think they are better players? మీరు ఏమనుకుంటారు అంటే ఎక్కువ మంది విమెన్కి మీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్లో ఆపర్చునిటీస్ ఇవ్వడం, వాళ్ళకి ఎక్కువ రోల్ ఇవ్వడం, వాళ్ళకి ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఇవ్వడానికి ప్రధాన కారణం ఏంటి? యూ థింక్ దే ఆర్ బెటర్ వర్కర్స్, ఆర్ దే
sincere? Unfair to compare us lesser models to women, but I think yes, all that put together. Now I don't want to restrict it to just being aesthetically more sensible or better workers. It's a lot more than that. I think the energy, the vibe, the way they handle things, and somewhere a woman in power feels good. Yeah.
సార్, మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో అంటే ఒక 5-6 ఏళ్ళుగా చూసుకుంటే ఇంకా లాట్ మోర్, మీరు అన్నట్టు చాలామంది విమెన్ ఆర్ దే ఆర్ దేర్ ఎవ్రీవేర్, అండ్ మెన్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో ఇన్ దట్ యాక్సెప్టింగ్ స్టేజ్. ఇవన్నీ ఒక 5-6 ఏళ్ళుగా వచ్చేసాయి. బట్ వే బ్యాక్ వెన్ యూ స్టార్టెడ్ ఇట్ ఆఫ్ వెరీ ఎర్లీ ఇన్ 2001 వెన్ యూ మేడ్ చెలి, అంటే తెలుగులో చెలి, దట్ వాస్ వెన్ ఐ రియలైజ్, వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ మ్యాన్ డూయింగ్, వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ రోల్ ఆఫ్ దట్ గర్ల్. అంటే ఒక క్యారెక్టర్ని మీరు అలా డిజైన్ చేయటం, all out there, so vibrant and so open about her opinions. 20 ఏళ్ల క్రితం did you think it was acceptable? అంటే ఆ రోజుల్లో మీరు ఒక స్టీరియోటైప్ని బ్రేక్ చేసి ఒక ఉమెన్ క్యారెక్టర్ని డిజైన్ చేశారు.
So strangely, I didn't even know that there was the other world that existed, because I have not been brought up like that. Right? Very strong women at home. I used to see my dad completely, and it's not being henpecked. It's about, my mother would completely take everything forward in that sense. And my father was very happy to be in that space. But we were very good friends, and, my dad and me. And I could see how much he was about my mother. There was always one physical connect between them all the time. which you might have seen in my Surya Son of
Right,
Krishnan.
right.
When she's sitting on the sofa, he'll be sitting on the floor, and his hand will be on her feet. There will be one touch all the time. So I've grown up to things like that, you know. So the other world didn't exist at all for me.
Okay.
But like you said, when I came to make Minnale Chelli, and even the characters in Vetadu Vilayadu, which is Raghavan in Telugu,
yes,
and
yes.
Kaka Kaka, which is Garshana here.
Yeah.
When I write these characters and when I discuss with people whose names I don't want to mention, they were always like, but why give so much importance here? Can you reduce this a bit? Can you reduce the love portion a bit? Even the heroes had a little issue with certain things, you know, and I don't want to mention names.
Yeah.
But I have to keep telling them, no, sir, there's no other way I can do this. I mean, this has to be done this way. Even the work with female lyricists was an issue at that time. And I somehow, in a big way, introduced Tamare in that film. In Minnale, you know, she wrote the song Manohara, Vasigara, which is like a runaway, success, and it was a beautiful song also. And she's written almost every other song of mine. But there were music directors who were hesitant to work with her. There were producers who were hesitant to work with her, saying, no, why? Let's go with somebody else. But when you ask them why, they don't give you an answer. But somewhere you realize it's because she's a woman, you know. So it was very strange for me. But then I had to break it at every point. And I know a lot of other contemporary filmmakers and a few earlier filmmakers have broken that even earlier.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Mani Sir's films or even, you know, very other films, there have been some films, Balachandra Sir's, K. Vishwanath Sir's, a lot of films have come where, you know, they've broken all those barriers. So we were just following as far as films were concerned, but my life was also in that space anyway.
అంటే ఏం లేదు సార్, ఇనీషియల్గా వెన్ యూ వాంట్ టు డెస్పరేట్లీ బికమ్ అ ఫిల్మ్ మేకర్, మేక్ అ ఫిల్మ్, నెరేట్ యువర్ స్టోరీ, మీ కథ మీరు చెప్పాలి అని అనుకుంటున్నప్పుడు ఇలాంటి ఒడిదుడుకులు వచ్చినప్పుడు, సరే మొదటి లెట్ మీ ఫస్ట్ ఒక స్టెప్ అవ్వాలి, ఒక సినిమా చేసేద్దాం, తర్వాత దే అండర్స్టాండ్, దెన్ ఐ కెన్ మేక్ అని అనుకుంటారు నార్మల్గా. వై డిడ్ యూ నాట్ కాంప్రమైజ్?
I think somewhere people who know me really well know that if somebody says no, I'll only do that. You know, and I will fight to get that done in my own way. I don't throw tantrum, I don't yell and scream. And it just takes some convincing, and I've managed to do that with everybody that I've worked so far. And as yet, I've not gone to the other side and said, okay, let me try a film that everybody else wants. Somewhere, I'm hoping the audience across Tamil and Telugu will be the same, and that content will be appreciated by both of them, by both the regions, in a similar way. And I've only made films like that. Yeah.
గౌతమ్ గారు, మీరు తీసిన తమిళ సినిమాలని తెలుగులో డబ్ అయినాయి, కొన్ని మీరు రీమేక్ చేశారు, ఎస్పెషల్ 4 సినిమాలు. యూ మేడ్ 4 ఫిల్మ్స్ అండ్ 4 ఆర్ బ్లాక్ బస్టర్స్, ఐ షుడ్ సే. కానీ మీరు స్ట్రైట్ తెలుగు సినిమాలు ఎక్కువ చేయట్లేదు. దట్ ఈస్ వీఆర్ ఫీలింగ్ నాట్ గుడ్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. అండ్ దెన్ మీరు తీసిన తమిళ సినిమాలు డబ్ అయినవి కూడా జనాలు ఇక్కడ చాలా రిసీవ్ చేసుకున్నారు, ఎస్పెషలీ చెల్లి ఒకటి, రాఘవన్. దెర్ ఆర్ ఫిల్మ్స్ లైక్ సూర్య సన్ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ ఈజ్ లైక్ ఆల్ టైమ్ రికార్డ్స్ బ్రేక్ చేసింది. సో వై ఆర్ యూ నాట్ మేకింగ్ ఫిల్మ్స్ ఇన్ తెలుగు?
So let me correct you. Even though Yemaya Chesave, Eto Velipoyindi Manasu, and Garshana and Sahasam Swaha were all made simultaneously, but they were straight films only.
Yeah, straight films.
No, now, except Garshana, which was made after the release of Kaka Kaka, all the other 3 films are made simultaneously. Right. So I will take one shot with Simbu, and then Simbu will move out and go off, and then Che will come in. Right. So both films were developed at the same time. So as far as I am concerned, they were straight films with Telugu technicians. We've come here also and shot certain portions and all that stuff. This is my, then you can look at this as the Bathukamma film as my first original
Okay.
Tamil work, Telugu work, and there will be a lot more. See, finally it's also depends on the actors. Here it's very, star driven, producer driven obviously, and they should want to
No
work
more,
with me.
Ande.
Oh,
Not
no more,
anymore.
okay.
Not anymore.
I'll take your word for it then. So hopefully, I'll be called. I'm hoping I'll be called, yeah.
హూ ఆర్ ద డైరెక్టర్స్ యూ రియలీ అప్రిషియేట్? మా తెలుగు ఫిలిం ఇండస్ట్రీలో ఎవరిని మీరు బాగా ఇష్టపడతారు? వాళ్ళ వర్క్ మీకు ఎవరిది బాగా నచ్చుతుంది?
So obviously the greats are all from here. I've liked their work extensively. I've had the fortune of meeting K. Vishwanath Sir and Sangeetham Srinivas Rao Sir and all that. And Mani Sir, of course, a lot of his work has been done here. From the newer batch, I like Shekhar Kamula's work a lot. I've also met him during Garshana, and I've spent some time with him. We were editing across similar suites. I think as we're talking, his film is released and has become a big hit also.
It's a hit.
Yeah. Other than that, Gunasekhar Sir's work I've really liked. I like the bigness of his films, and Krishna Vamsi Sir is somebody I've also interacted and spent a lot of time with. Ram Gopal Verma. So I'm still belonging to that category of filmmakers whom I don't want to let go, for some strange reason. And then of course Bhaskar's work I like, and From the current lot, I'll be looking forward to watching everything that Sandeep does. I think.
సందీప్ రెడ్డి.
Sure.
గౌతమ్ గారు నార్మల్గా అంటే మీరు you've grown up loving films like నాయగన్ and Shiva and all such kind of genres, but you ended up making love stories. అంటే maybe is it because of the influence of Rajiv Menon on you when అంటే you started off your career? బట్ మళ్ళీ గ్యాంగ్స్టర్ స్టోరీస్లో కూడా మీకు ఆ లవ్ ఎలిమెంట్ చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్గా ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఇఫ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు డిఫైన్ యూ, ఐ మీన్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డిఫైన్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్, ఆర్ యూ అ ఫిల్మ్ మేకర్ హూ కెన్ మేక్ స్ట్రాంగ్ యాక్షన్ ఫిల్మ్స్ ఆర్ romantic?
I think the influences I learned to be a filmmaker by working on one film and by reading and studying a lot and watching people work and stuff. But the love angle in my film I'll attribute and credit to myself because of being maybe a die-hard romantic and always being in love with anything and everything around me. So the love element is only because of that. But like you said, off late I'm looking to shift to different genres now. I wanted to make certain films. I've done those. Now I'm looking to make a very different set of films. Genres being different. I'm making one such film now with Simbu, which is currently under production. It's a small break that we've taken to film the Bathukamma film. But that is a very different genre for me. It's a village boy who comes to a city, and it's very rural and raw in that sense. And it's also a gangster film to a large extent. So to answer your question, I think that is the first step, I think, in that scenario. And the love element is a little less in that film.
ఏ జానర్స్ మీరు ఎప్పటికీ టచ్ చేయరు? అంటే is there any genre you
I'm
will
not
never
a fan
make?
of fantasy and horror. I don't think I'll ever make. I won't ever make, yeah, for sure.
Finally, Gautam garu, before we end up, two more questions. Who are the actors whom you are really wanting to work with, especially Telugu film industry lo unna ఏ నటులతోని ఏ నటీనటులతోని మీరు చేయాలని అనుకుంటున్నారు?
I've done a film with Nani and I still want to work with him. I thought a very complete actor, I thought, and from when I worked with him to now, if at all there is a possibility, he's evolved even so much more. I watched all his work and I'm waiting for an opportunity to work with him. Mahesh is a long time.
Yes, it's as a Quaish.
Yeah, Quaish, yes. A very long time. I sent something to him to read even almost a year ago, but it was a very straightforward love story. I think they wanted to be in a slightly bigger action sort of a film. And right now maybe Vijay Devarkonda to a large extent.
Okay. Finally, sir, so ఏఆర్ రెహమాన్ గారి మ్యూజిక్, మీ దర్శకత్వం, సినిమాల్లో అయితే బ్లాక్ బస్టర్సే. ఇప్పుడు బతుకమ్మ పాట మీద మాకు చాలా ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్స్, హోప్స్ అండ్ we just wanting to watch it. So can you just give a small teaser before the song releases? మీరు ఏమైనా ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్స్ ఏమైనా ఎలిమెంట్స్ చెప్పగలుగుతారా ఆ సినిమాలో ఒక ఎక్సైట్మెంట్ క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి ఆ పాటలో?
I think sir looked at a lot of songs that have come out on the Bathukamma festival and Bathukamma itself. Honestly, and not just saying it, this is very different from all that. It's
all Bathukamma songs?
Yeah, all Bathukamma songs. It's got a very classical touch to it.
Okay.
It's a very proper technical song, know, and very difficult to compose. I told him that the structure of the melody is so difficult and not very ordinary at all. His reaction was just a smile. And I'm very happy that Kavita ma'am understood that this is what we wanted to do. And see, otherwise the normal thinking to do would be to go very commercial in that sense. But this is not that. And she straight away loved it and she said, I love it. That was the idea of going to Rahman sir, so that I can get something different. So if not for her hand on our shoulder, this wouldn't be possible at all, I'm saying.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gautam garu, for coming to Hyderabad, for making this film, and we are looking forward
Thank you.
for many more from you.
Thank you.
Ye dil mange more. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.